All right, we're up and running. How's everybody doing tonight? I don't know what's shifting, my tripod or me. Interesting. Either way, all right, for anyone who's just hopping in here, we're working on this cube here, this side. I'm going to finish up the bronze. This will have the bronze side right there, the stainless steel side, and then two sides will be bronze dominant, and then the other two sides will be stainless steel dominant. And I think that's a good way to show this color combo. I like the way it's looking. This thing is so heavy, it's ridiculous. Stainless steel and bronze. So I've had an eventful last couple of days. Got a lot of work done yesterday. I had a honey-do list. Mow the lawn, clean the dryer vents, change an electrical outlet. I recently changed the faucet in my kitchen sink. That was a nightmare. It was good. It all worked out. Got it all done. And yesterday, I would have streamed last night, but after going up and down the stairs, dealing with the dryer vent, right, because the dryer's in the wall behind me, right? And the vent goes right over my head, so I had to come down here, flush out the dryer vent, and then run up the stairs, go and scoop all the crap out of the exit on the outside of the house. Barrios Blades, how you doing? Black and stainless and titanium to control the weight a bit? Well, black and stainless it's going to weigh as much as regular stainless. You could make a cube with titanium to keep it lighter for sure. You can do that. I mean, that's not what this customer ordered, but I'm trying to think, have I seen anyone do a titanium cube? I have one. It's not anodized. Let's see here. Let's see. These are almost the same size. There's your titanium cube there. It's got a little color variation because these used to be anodized rings, and then excuse me, I tumbled the crap out of them to get the color off to re-anodize them all. So eventually, once I have an anodizer, I'll re-anodize this whole thing. Whitney made a titanium cube. Of course he did. As he should. Now here's a fun little experiment to show the weight. Handy dandy kitchen scale. I can give you some examples because I got 3 different materials here, or 3 different cubes. This aluminum one I'm working on, and yes, for anyone asking, I do make more than cubes. I've been working on a lot of cubes lately. This one, let's zero the scale, 1.7 ounces. Okay. The titanium one, 7.7 ounces. Now, these are very obviously different sizes, but I'd say this is probably a third of the titanium. These two are close in weight, titanium and aluminum. What's this one weigh? 11 ounces. And it's smaller than 11.1 ounces. It's smaller than the titanium cube. Yeah. What's this one weigh? This one is 1 pound, 11.5 ounces. So this will weigh, this is about halfway done. 11.5. So that's 3, almost 4 pounds when it's done. I bet this weighs 4 pounds when it's done. Be sure to turn off your scales when you're done using them. Bronze. Yeah, bronze and steel are both very heavy compared to other materials. So, it's going to be a chunky boy when it's done. But what was I going on about? I was going on about something. Oh, yeah. Running up and down the stairs to clear the dryer vent. Running up and down the stairs to turn the power off and on as I changed out this outlet on the outside of my house. Mowing the lawn. It was a hectic day. I was tired. So I think at like 5 o'clock I was like, yeah, I'm not streaming tonight. But that's okay. Had a good day today. We went to the Olive Garden for lunch with a friend of ours. And I have not been to an Olive Garden in forever. I forgot. You get the breadsticks, the salad, the soup, then your entree, and by the time you're done, you're just stuffed. So, pretty good day. All of us after lunch, we all just came home and kind of melted into a chair, sat there for a while. But it was a good day. Can't complain. A school day tomorrow, so this stream won't run too long, but we should hit 10 o'clock, no problem. But yeah, I'd like to so if you look closely at this cube, all the rings are doubled up, right? And it does not have any wiggle, right? It's pretty rock solid. I would like to do a titanium cube that has more give to it, like this large one here. And anodize that. That'd be fun. But after these 3 that I'm working on here, I'm taking a break from cubes for a while. I've got a bunch of stuff that needs done, and I'm not going to have the time to screw around. So I'll still be streaming, but I'm going back to work here next month, and it'll be interesting to see how much chainmail I get done. With larger rings allow it to flow smoother. With this one, yeah. Right? Like, you can make cubes where the rings are doubled up like that, and it wiggles. This is just at one end of the spectrum. Deadpool Scan, how you doing? And how you doing, Mystic? Spent 20 years on an inlay. What's 10 years of cubes? Well, that inlay, it's not like I was continuously working on the inlay for 20 years straight. It just was started 20 years ago. I have a big Finnegan's Wake inlay that was a bar down in Alexandria, Louisiana. And it took me so long to make the inlay that the bar has since closed. So it won't be going up on their wall. But now it's finished and it'll hang out in my basement across from my bar. So, but yeah, I don't want to do 10 years of cubes. 10 years on a cube might be a bouncy castle by then, for real. What are those emojis? A smiley face and an alien? And you got to get yourself some rings again. Heck yeah. Get some rings. Everybody should have some rings to make a little chainmail now and then. I have a lot of rings, and I'm trying to work through the bulk of them. I would like to get to a point where I'm routinely taking commissions and, you know, making custom stuff, but it's going to be a bit before I get there. So hence why I'm going back to work. It's like I have plans to buy a bunch of fun toys, like finally get the machine to anodize titanium, right? Get my riveting setup so I can make riveted chainmail. Build out my own coil and cutting setup, right? Now I want a forge and a 2x72 grinder and other blacksmithing tools. So I would like to pursue that hobby. That is initially what started me on the path of making chainmail. Was I wanted to make swords, and instead I got caught up making chainmail for 28 years now, and I have not gone after any type of blacksmith work. So that's something I want to do. Going back to work will give me the opportunity to afford those things and put myself in a position where I can just go become a vendor at events and do that full time and make chainmail full time and, you know, blacksmith, whatever, full time. That'd be cool. And pay my taxes that have doubled on my house and afford groceries. So, all right. Someone the other day, while I was streaming, mentioned, Selena, I am making a cube. I'm adding to this layer right now. And it wiggles. Need a forge, then an anvil, then hammers, then a heat treat, oven to fit sword, then molten salt baths. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, the list of things that you can purchase. Like, I'd love to own a lathe to do stuff with. That'd be cool. I'm debating on whether or not to build a second shed, or to build a shop, or what. Or get 2 shipping containers and put a roof over them and store my tools in the shipping containers and have a work area that's outside, and I don't know. Okay, so I am using stainless steel and bronze rings to make this. Right? You can use any metal, basically. Aluminum. Titanium. Right? And it's just rings being woven into a specific pattern. And it gives you a cube. I do a bunch of different stuff, like little spheres. Big spheres. There's actually a glass marble in here. Jewelry. Normally I wear this stuff on stream, but I'm having eczema breakout, and I think it's from my not my detergent, but my fabric softener. I suppose it could be my detergent. Thank you. And so I'm trying to avoid irritating my arms anymore. Shipping containers are neat unless they old food shipped or had gross hazard stuff in them. Last I knew they had gone to like $4,000 a piece. Yeah, they definitely went up in price. And it would be like the simplest setup to do, 2 shipping containers with some space in the middle, space in between them, and then build a roof over the top. Excuse me. I'd have to make sure everything is tied down to the earth really well because we get 70-mile-an-hour winds in my backyard fairly often. So it's I don't think the HOA would allow me to use shipping containers. I don't know. I don't like them, the HOA. They're annoying. It's like, I understand some people's pretentious nature and why they want to be involved with an HOA or live in a neighborhood that has one. But I grew up in trailer parks, and people just did whatever they wanted. I want to park my four-wheel drive vehicle on my front lawn and put it on blocks, because that is what I know. Did I say thank you, Selena? Thank you. I kept looking for new comments, and I kept reading what you had posted, and I don't remember if I responded to it or not. But thank you. So I've been doing this for a long time, 28 years. I am by no means an expert or anything, but I'm pretty good, and I have a good base of knowledge on where to move forward. Or that didn't make sense. I have a good base of knowledge from with which I hold a lot of information that helps me make cool stuff. And I know who the experts are. People I would consider experts. Eventually, when you do something for 28 years, you do kind of tend to get good at it. So I'm pretty okay. But oh, and here's a PSA for anyone who has to change a GCFI outlet. Okay? If you have, one white wire, one black wire, and a ground, it's fairly simple. You just put it on one outlet. If you have two white wires, two black wires, and a ground, you attach the ground, and the two white wires go on, like, say, the bottom outlet, and the two black wires go on the bottom outlet. Okay? That took me a while to figure out. I finally broke down and had to Google it because I was like, oh yeah, I can wire this real quick. I'm not an electrician. I don't know what I'm doing. So I got it figured out. I turned the breaker off so I could mess with the outlet and not get shocked. And the first time I wired up the outlet and put it back in and went to go check everything, nothing worked in the little kitchen area that I was working in. I was like, uh-oh, now I really broke something. It's like the ceiling fan wouldn't turn on, the lights wouldn't turn on, the outlets were dead. So I got it taken care of, but yeah, make sure if you're changing an outlet to Google how to wire it. Just FYI. So everything's like the way I wired it the first time to put it to make this make sense is I put one white wire and one black wire on the top outlet and one white wire and one black wire on the bottom outlet, and that's not the way it works. They both wires got to go on either side of the top or bottom outlet. So, now I know. I hope I don't have to replace any more outlets anytime soon. But if I do, I hope that I remember. Because that's a fun thing too, doing homeowner projects, right? Like, we had to change out the internals of all the toilets. The lever that makes the toilet flush, right? All the parts in there. It's fairly simple. And I got good at doing it after four tries, but I had to replace my the internals in my son's toilet in his bathroom. And I was like, okay, let's try and remember how to do this. And it had been so long. Like, we moved up here 10 years ago, and I replaced the internals, 9 years ago. And, after 9 years, I was like, it's all Greek to me, man. I don't know what I'm doing. But being a homeowner is fun. We did have to call someone to come and fix our AC. That was a job I could not have done. So, had to have the whole unit replaced. It was only 20 years old. It probably could have lasted another couple years, but it's at the point where, do you call the technician every time it breaks down and spend $200 to $300 each time and deal with not having AC, who knows when? Or do you just replace the unit and call it a day? Because you're eventually going to replace it, You can only keep that corpse alive for so long before it eventually just gives out on you anyway. So we ended up replacing the whole thing. And now we have AC again, which is wonderful. It's like right at the end of summer. So we could have survived. But I didn't want to. I didn't want to survive. I don't like living in survival times, right? You know how people are like, "Oh, I was born in the wrong era." I was not. I was meant to be born in the era of internet and air conditioning. For sure. Like, there's not a world in where I would want to live without indoor plumbing. For those of the news, they're on pliers for Micro Tools. They are. These are the beta test ones that I got about 2 months ago. And, they're nice. I like them. I do have a harder time grabbing rings with this hand, right? Like, I can do it. This hand, it's easy. But that's not because of the pliers. It's because my left hand is a 1/4 inch larger than my right hand. And don't ask me how I never noticed that. Right? I guess I'm just a freak of nature. Speaking of freaks in nature. Okay. This woman wasn't a freak. There was nothing wrong with her. But she did have an index finger, right? That was, like, I don't know how to demonstrate it on camera. We go. It was, like, that much longer than, just her index finger was that much longer than the rest of her fingers, right? And it looked like a big thumb just hanging out. She just had one large finger. How do I like them? Yeah, no, I like them a lot. They're more comfortable than your regular Zurons. I'll be buying the set with the tray once I have the money. Which, if you're looking for tools, can't go wrong with Zurons. And they are gearing up to produce these and ship them out. I think Kurt said next month. And that's Zuron from Micro Tools. What happened to the comments? What's going on here? So they're pretty comfortable. I can weave more easily with them than with my blue handled ones. And they're just I don't know, they're pliers. They don't make me weave any faster. I know that some people have, I have small hands for a guy, right? And I know that some people have trouble with the foam padding on the handles. And, it's just one of those things that You either like them or you don't. So, I like them. I'm sure the extra padding would be too much for your small hands. Yeah, exactly. If these are already difficult for your small hands, the extra padding would be, you know, probably too much. Because I know that some people have complained about having there are foam pads you can buy that you can add to the blue Zerons, right? So you might try buying those and seeing how those feel before you invest in the new Zeron pliers. But other than that, you know, there's Zerons, quality chainmail plier. I'm just excited to have, you know, someone who makes pliers specifically for the chainmail community. Do you think a cube is bad first project for an absolute beginner? Yeah. It's not the worst project you could do, but I don't know. How big are we talking? That is like wonky. Okay. Let's put this into perspective. A 10 by 10 cube that I'm working on right now. Let's do some math. It's like 5,149 rings or something. I can weave 200 rings an hour. So that is a 25-hour plus project, and I know what I'm doing. Right? A much smaller cube, like a 3x3, is only a 10 by 10 has 6,000 rings. So there you go. So even more than 25 hours. That's 5 more hours, basically. So 30 hours for a 10 by 10, right? And if you're doing a little 3x3, it has like 95 rings in it. That's not a terrible first project. You just got to make sure that you have the right ring size. And Wayward and Whimsical, commenting there above you, has a great tutorial over on her TikTok. So if you want to make a cube, she gives you all the information you need to be successful and provides the instructions. So make sure the rings you order or make have an aspect ratio of 2.6 and get you some rings and weave them together following her instructions, right? Things that I think are good beginner projects. Learning weaves like European 4-in-1, Byzantine, box weave, half Persian 4-in-1, and 3-in-1, full Persian. Okay, and making something out of those. Learning sheet weaves and chain weaves are good beginner projects. You can pick up some pliers and some rings and learn whatever you set your heart on, right? That is absolutely something you can do. Do I recommend it? No, not necessarily. Just because here's the thing. Say you wanted to make a 10 by 10 cube like I'm making right now. The reality is that you're not going to have built up the ability to grind through such a large project, for your first project. So you're going to work on it a little bit, and then it's going to sit there. Then you're going to work on it a little bit, and then it's going to sit there. And I want people to be successful, get a good, quick win, right? So I wouldn't recommend a cube necessarily. If your heart is set on making a cube, nothing can stop you. I just don't want to see you go and invest a bunch of money in tools and supplies and start getting your hands dirty and give up because it is such a big project. I do ridiculously large projects, 10, 20, 30, 40,000 rings, because I'm not a smart person, right? And I have definitely had my time struggling through projects. That's part of what I'm doing, like, right now. This is an example. These were rings I'd gotten from TRL a long time ago, and when they were opened, the anodization would dissipate off about a third of the ring. So I couldn't really use them, and I didn't have a machine to anodize them again. So they sat for years and years and years. And titanium's not cheap, right? So finally, I did end up purchasing a tumbler a few years ago, and I threw these in with some ceramic tumbling media and tumbled as much color off of them as I could. The only way to get more color off of it would be to use an acidic wash. I didn't want to do that. I was like, this will be good, and then I'll get an anodizer and re-anodize this. But they were rings just sitting around my basement for forever, right? Because I had started the project and then, given up on it, basically. And now there's something, there. It's a cube. It doesn't really wiggle. It's pretty rock solid. And it's a little wonky shaped. Like, there's like a depression in it. I didn't misweave it or anything. But, like, this side is narrower than this side, and I don't know why that is. It's odd. But it is, it'll be a paperweight now, basically. Once I anodize it and get it put together. So I want people to have some quick wins. Start with a bracelet. If you like making the bracelet, make a necklace. If you like doing that, pick a different weave. Make another one. Find little areas of your life that you can improve with a little bit of chainmail, like adding a small amount of Byzantine chain to your zipper on your jacket. Don't put it in your washer or dryer. I feel like I have to say that because someone's going to be like, oh, I put a little piece of chainmail on my zipper and then I washed it and it destroyed my washer and dryer. Now it's ruined. It cost me $1,000. Like your first shirt or for a jelly cube. Like my first shirt for a jelly cube. Beginner kits are a great way to start. Oh yeah, actually, Chainmail Joe, okay, has a great beginner kit. The only one I've seen them have right now is the bright aluminum one, which is this stuff. This is aluminum. It's just shiny. So they call it bright aluminum. And it comes in a fancy box, and you can get pliers with it. You don't have to. There's a tutorial booklet in there. And a bunch of, I think it says 4 pounds of rings, which in aluminum, that is a lot. And you can learn a bunch of really good stuff. And then there's other kits that, like if you go to the Ring Lord or We've Got Mail or Metal Designs, they all have kits. And, there's tutorials and kits on Etsy, and work involved in a jelly cube is on par with a full chainmail shirt. Yes, it is. Why did I put that ring there? That was dumb. Because I'm not paying attention to what I'm doing. Yeah, I know a lot of people who started their first chainmail shirt and then, they made some progress, but it's so arduous to make such big pieces of chainmail that when you're first starting out and it's taking forever just to expand the shirt to fit you, you know, they get burnt out on it. No, you're not investing a ton of money in rings you may never use again. Yeah, 100%. Don't be like me. Don't invest a ton of money in rings that you don't have plans for. And then they just sit around your basement until you finally sit down and come up with ideas for what you want to make with those rings. That's been, it's not been fun. It's been a challenge. Like this was leftover rings that I had. I was like, okay, let me figure out something to use these up. And then I've wanted to make a monkey fist style piece of chainmail for a while. And I was like thinking about it one day, and then I took a nap and I dreamed about it. And when I woke up, I was like, okay, that's how I can do it. Right? It's not actually that hard. I didn't know how to put it together until I, dreamed about it. But that is one of the projects that resulted from me having to come up with ideas about what to do with all these excess rings I have. Instead of, just getting rid of them. It's like I traveled all around the country with these rings for years. And it's not like I wasn't making stuff at the time. I have completed many projects in that time. But yeah, I did buy a bunch of supplies that I was like, oh, I want to play with that. Oh, what's this? I want to try and work with that material or in that color or whatever. And I didn't, excuse me, I didn't flesh out those ideas then. So a lot of stuff just kind of sat there for a long time. Excuse me. I will eventually have a supply storage of comparable to what Wayward and Whimsical has. She's got these multiple big chests of drawers with all the different ring sizes and colors in there, and I'm very jealous of it. So, and that, hopefully by then I will be at a point where I'm, the rings I have in storage are for custom work, commissions, stuff like that. Another good way to get started, let's see if I can post this. Let's see here, hang on. Copy. Oh, it's not what I meant to do. I'm going to post a link. There is a space in the link, so don't forget to take that out. Let's see if this posts. I don't think it's been letting me post this link lately. Yeah, I didn't see it post up. Anyway, I was going to share my Linktree, which has the Mailworks app in there. There's a bunch of different suppliers listed, tutorials, where to find them, where to find where other chainmail artists hang out at. Just a bunch of good stuff to start out with, and it's linktr.ee/mailworks. Just my username. I've got to figure out how. I guess I just have to open a business account back up in TikTok, because that link is on all my other social media, just not TikTok. I would not have shut down my business TikTok if I had known they were going to remove that link. So I'll get it put back in there. That's a thing I just need to take care of. So I have until... I got a couple things I got to do before October 10th. I want to finish this cube, right, which is about halfway done, almost. It's 15 rows wide, 15 rows long, and then it's got to be 15 rows high. It's going to be a nice big cube. I want to get this done before October 10th. And then there's some back end stuff on the website and on the Mailworks app that I want to finish. Because once I go back to work, my time is going to be very limited. And I want to spend that time making chainmail, not fiddling with software. So yeah, and there's lots of ways to get started in chainmail. There are a bunch of tutorials on how to make rings at home. One thing I don't recommend to people is that they use galvanized steel. I don't recommend that. Now you can do whatever you want, and I know people who do. Galvanized steel is softer than stainless steel, so if I'm going to use steel, I'm just going to use galvanized steel, or I'm just going to use stainless steel. And then it stinks too, because of the zinc coating. It smells bad. So if you're going to make your rings from home, which is how I started out, I used a bunch of galvanized steel. Avoid my mistakes, because I have some. I have a galvanized steel shirt that I made, a hauberk, if you will, out of European 6-in-1, which is a weave name, and it's ridiculously heavy, and it stinks. So I have been challenged to refurbish it, but that's like last on my list of stuff to do. All the handmade rings I made were kind of crap. So you can get much better quality made rings now. Which is why I like ordering rings from people, because while you can make your own saw cut setup at home, that's a whole other discipline, right? Like making rings is one thing, weaving chainmail is another. Should you learn both? Eventually, yeah, but you don't need to start out hand making rings. Which metal is the least stinky? Probably like anodized aluminum. I don't know. Most metals don't stink heavily, right? Galvanized steel just is more potent than the rest. So, all of them smell like metal, right? But that's about it. Unless, you're not going to notice it unless you're like, sniffing them. But the galvanized steel, it's in a Foot Locker in my shed. Whenever I open it up, you can smell it, right? And it's not because of the metal, it's because of the zinc coating on the metal. So the challenge to refurbish it is to remove the zinc coating, polish it up, maybe make some more rings to adjust it to where it's a more functional shirt. So we'll see. But, like I said, that is the last thing on a long list of things. To remove the zinc on galvanized steel, you can just put it in vinegar, and it leaves you with mild steel, which, is not as strong as stainless steel. And then you gotta, rust proof it. Yeah, you worked with galvanized steel wire, figured armatures, and thought this all wire was smelly. Not really. Silver has smell, as the stainless, even aluminum has its own smell if you stick them in a box. Yeah, if you stick it in a box and then they've just been cooking in there, and you open it up. I've never noticed a smell on silver, and like I said, if you hold this up to your face, you can definitely smell. I don't know what else to call it, but a metal smell. Yeah, so what? Okay, so take my galvanized shirt, put it in vinegar, get rid of the zinc coating, right? Put it in a what do you call it? Concrete mixer. Concrete mixer is, big drum that spins around mixing concrete. But if I put galvanized shirt in there, it'll roll the shirt around and polish it up and remove all the burrs and everything. And the shirt is it's not very flexible, so it might end up getting torn apart, which is fine. It was a lot of work, but it was a lot of effort. It's a perfect example of putting a lot of effort into something and just coming up short. So, what else we got? It's like if I get this done by October 10th and I start working, we'll see how work goes. Over the winter, my goal is to have my toolkit for my motorcycle wrapped in chainmail, and then a leather and chainmail gas tank bib. I would like to finish those two projects, and then the money from work will go to pay for getting the front and rear fenders and the side panels and the gas tank all hydro dipped in a chainmail pattern. And I don't know how I'm going to get that done, but I will. User 4855309. I'm making a cube. I'm working on this side right here, adding some rings. And it's just a little fidget toy kind of deal that someone requested I make. They're fun. Here's a much larger one I'm working on. I love the way it wiggles. So yeah, it's all rings woven together. And it's I don't know, they're fun projects. So I've got a list of large sculptural pieces I want to make. So we'll see how many of those I can even get to while I'm working. And before I do any of that, I still have to finish working all the crap that's been sitting around for years and years. So, and in the past year, so yeah, I started streaming on TikTok pretty regularly in October of last year. And like I'm still going to stream once I go back to work as much as and as often as I can. But instead of getting a bunch of work done during the day, I'm just going to be working on the project I was working on the night before. And projects are going to take as long as they take. So It'll be slow going, but it'll be worth it. And in the past year, I've gotten a ton of stuff done. Streaming and weaving and making cool stuff. So, hoping to keep that up. Louie, how you doing? How's your day been? Was your neck of the woods for the night? Got home a few hours ago. Right on, right on. I too went out in my neck of the woods and was out in the public earlier today. I'm very much a homebody. I don't like going anywhere. All my stuff is at home, and so I just want to chill here. So I will go to get groceries and run errands, and usually that's it. But today we went to the Olive Garden. Just got back from Milwaukee, had an Airbnb, went to Waukesha, an area for antique malls. Nice, right on. Very cool. I need to go antiquing. I'm looking for old chainmail purses. You're like, why do you need an old chainmail purse? Because in addition to making chainmail, I also have a collection, and that consists of, like, I have an old butcher glove that's made from chainmail, and I want a old chainmail purse to add to that, and I would like other things that I don't know of that are made from chainmail that are old. But then the rest of my collection is comprised of other chainmailers' works. So I have a few pieces from other chainmail artists. I would like more. Highly recommend Antiques on Pierce in Milwaukee. 3 stories, dang. I should go up there just for that. Probably should do some other stuff while I'm up there. But usually, like, I've been to a few antique stores. I only have ever found a chainmail purse in my area at a museum. And they wouldn't sell it to me. Go there in either the Safe House or Dawn's TV Repair. Both are speakeasy style places. Nice. Yeah. Oh, this one wants to fight. There we go. Yeah. But have a good one. Just want to swing by. I appreciate you, Louie. Have a good night. But yeah, usually I'm home all day long, every day. It's going to be weird going back to work, so I won't be at home. But I spent years going out, grabbing food, going to the movies, meeting up with friends, getting drinks someplace. And it's like, I don't have any desire to do any of that anymore. So I do have to pick myself up and get out of the house and drag my son around and show him stuff. I do need to do more of that 2 years ago, we went to Idaho. And we were there visiting family. And don't get me wrong, I love my family, but I want to do more, trips that aren't just going to go visit family. You know what I mean? I made that mistake in the Army. I would go home on leave every time I had leave. And I could have gone to anywhere and done whatever. But no, I went home. And it was good. It's good to maintain your relationships with your family, but also there's a whole big wide world out there to see. So, and I've talked about this before on stream, places I'd like to take my kid. So going back to work is going to help fund that. So that'll be nice. Come on. So, what else has been going on? So I got a list of honeydews I got to work on. But most of it's like funding the projects, not doing them myself. It's like, I'm not going to paint my house. I will pay someone else to paint my house. I'm not going to clean my ducts. I'm going to pay someone else to do it. I want to get those Christmas lights installed that you can program for any event, right? It's like, they're not Christmas lights. They're every holiday lights. You can have like a 4th of July theme, Christmas theme, Halloween theme, and they stick to the eaves of your house, and you just click a remote or whatever and turn them off and on. And I want to get those because I'm not climbing up to hang Christmas lights. I am over 40. So there's no reason for me to be climbing ladders that go up on my roof. I've done it in the past, and it's incredibly sketchy. So, I don't know who offers that service of putting up the remote-controlled lights, but I'll figure it out. Pay them to do it. And then our biggest project that we have to take care of is the deck. It was not maintained before we bought the place, and so the wood is just dried out. Which, fine, I get it. I built a deck down in San Antonio on the back of my house that I had to strip and stain every year. Mac, how you doing? And that was the worst. So I totally understand not wanting to maintain your deck. So I want like a Four Seasons room that's built onto as an addition to the house, so that we can go and enjoy our backyard a little more and not have something to maintain. Everything's going to be made from that plastic wood. Doing pretty great. How about you? How's your weekend? My weekend was good. I had got a lot of stuff done. So like earlier in the week I changed a faucet out under my sink, and then changed an electrical outlet, got the lawn mowed, cleaned the dryer vent, and I got all that done. So after getting it all done yesterday, I was completely wiped out. But yeah. Then we went to the Olive Garden today, and that was pretty good. I don't go out, as I've been talking about, and one of the primary reasons is that I can get better cooking at home than I can at most restaurants. So unless I'm going to like a Ruth's Chris or something, which I've never been to, but I'm told it's super nice. Unless I'm going there, I'm not going to get a better meal than what I can get at home. So Renee is an amazing cook. I'm a terrible cook. I'm good with the microwave. It's where my skills peak at. So did that, got a little work done on this cube. We're working on row 8 right now. And we're only going to 10. So hopefully we have enough material here. Running a little low on the stainless steel. We'll see what happens. Hopefully it won't be an issue. But I should finish this up in the next couple of days. And then we'll get back to work on this thing. And then hopefully I finish this and then start work. That'd be great. And then ton of stuff after that I got to work on, but I did spend some of the weekend making sure that my kid got some poster project for history done. They sent home a handout, and it was just like I read the handout and I was like, I have no idea what's going on. My kid is working with a team, and one of his teammates said that they were doing fine and had everything ready to go. So hopefully everything's okay. But and then this week. I think it's this week, I get to chaperone for one of my kids. What do they call them when you it's not a vacation, when you leave school and go somewhere? Field trips. I got a chaperone for one of my kids' field trips. And then next weekend I've got a trap shoot, shooting clay pigeons. So that'll be fun. And that's on Sunday next week, so I'll probably be pretty wiped from that when I get done. It's one of those things about fresh air. If you don't get it a lot, if you spend any time in fresh air, it wipes you out pretty good. But that starts at like 10 on Sunday, and then I'll probably be there all day. So looking forward to that. I don't have much else going on. Just opening and closing rings, putting them where they belong. Oh, you know what I'm really looking forward to? I need a new mattress. right? I've needed one for a while. So that's going to be one of the first things I purchase when I go back to work. Is I'm going to get a king-size bed. And a new mattress. And new sheets for everything. And it's going to be a good chunk of change, but I really need a new mattress, so. I will probably end up replacing all the bedroom furniture because it's not terrible quality or anything. It's like Ashley furniture or something. Right? But the dressers, the things that hold them in place, some of those have fallen off. And so we bought a table from Ashley, and that was awful. It's like the finish on it came off with cleaning supplies. So eventually I will get a new kitchen table, but so much damage has been done to it. Like from when my kid was a kid, right? There's like bite marks on the edge of the table. Bunch of dents where he was, smashing his spoon down. So I've threatened to hold on to that table until he moves out, and that'll be his first table. But then I need a new couch as well. So, couch, table, bedroom set. I am looking forward to getting those. If you're going couch shopping, don't get one of the couches that has movable pillows to lie back on. We did that with our second couch. And it's just not fun. It's like the pillows are always in disarray. So the couch always looks like crap. And then when you want to go and sit down on the couch, it's not comfortable at all. I'm thinking of getting some. My brother and sister-in-law have a couch recliner deal, and then two chairs that recline. So I would like to upgrade to those. Damn. 9. Okay, 11 after. Let me show you some progress here. So this is the side we're working on. Right, you can see I gotta fill it in here and then fill it in on the other side. Right, we did this in the last hour. Oh, excuse me. To give you some idea of like how long this takes. It's a long time. But at the end of it, you have really cool stuff that's made of metal. And, provided you don't have someone intent on destroying it, like, because all this stuff can be smashed or thrown into a grinder or something. Like, yeah, you could destroy it, but, if it's not intentionally broken, it should last for a long time. That is one of the things I really like about chainmail. Not that it's, it's not indestructible. But, like, these two bracelets, right? Nothing should harm them. They should be fine. And they'll go from me to my kid to their kid and so on and so forth on down the line for who knows how many generations. I only have one kid, so there's not like, oh, I have to share all this with my siblings. No, he gets all my stuff. All my chainmail stuff that I didn't sell. So, me and my brothers and sisters, when my mom passed, like, there wasn't, my sisters, took a lot of her clothes and whatnot. I wasn't really interested in taking my mom's clothes after she passed. You know what I mean? Like, just not, my mom and I don't have the same sense of style. So, and then she had like a bunch of books, and I was not really interested in any of it. And then, of course, my stepdad was still alive, and so he's still alive, right? But he was not. I don't know how much of her stuff he kept. So I did get some jewelry that I had made my mom back. That sucked, right? Like, I made a necklace for my mom, and I got it back after she passed, and it's like, no, you were, supposed to wear this for a lot longer and whatnot. But other than that, me and my siblings didn't really parse out. We didn't argue over anything my mom had, right? I know some families get really into that. It's like, my dad, the only thing valuable my dad owns is the property his trailer sits on. And that's just because of where it's at, right? It's all that, the area my dad lives in is all being bought up by developers. And so they're going to level all the homes and trailers down there and build condos. And my grandma lives down the street, around the corner from my dad. And when she passes, same thing. It'll get bought out. It's worth a lot of money, but it'll get bought up by a developer, and so we'll see what happens when my dad passes, how my siblings react to it. I don't think that there'll be any issue beyond, like, yes, sell the property and then split up the money or whatever. But hopefully that's not something that has to happen for a good long time. Hopefully, even though he just recently had a heart attack, hopefully he lives for many more decades. And that's all that, family infighting and whatnot that goes on when people pass. Hopefully my son will not have to deal with any of it. He will just, get all of it. It's kind of nice having one kid because you can just make them your focus and spoil the crap out of them. Oh, man. So, we went to lunch today, and he called shotgun. So, of course, I sat in the front seat anyway. But I told him, it was like, all right, on the way home, you can ride in the front seat. Whatever, I don't care, right? So I let him ride home on the way back, and he had his arms up. And so I came from behind, and I tickled him, right? And I got him real good that way. But then something happened. I had my hands around the head of the seat, and I was just kind of messing with his ears and whatnot. But my fingernail caught him right next to his eye, right? I was like, oh man, I was just trying to horse around with him, and he ended up getting a little scratch. He's fine, but I felt bad. I was like, oh, I was trying to terrorize my son because I'm his dad, and that's what I'm supposed to do. Got to keep him humble. And I ended up, almost sticking my dang finger in his eye. But like I said, he's okay. I didn't, it happened, and then I didn't think about it again until later in the afternoon. He walks into the room, and I look at it. I see his eye, and he actually has a scratch there. I was like, oh, I got him. I got you good, buddy. So other than the occasional horsing around gone bad, he gets pretty spoiled. So I'm okay with that. So he can be spoiled, and he can have all my stuff after I pass. Yeah, come on. My dad did have a whitewater rafting collection that he had accumulated over many years. 2 or 3, like 14 and 15 foot long rafts, inflatable rafts. A Puma kind of deal, which is like an inflatable canoe kind of thing. That was fun. But all of that has been slowly handed over to my sister for them to do whitewater rafting. Her and her husband and kid and whatnot. My dad's just kind of aging out. So, and they live in an area where you can go whitewater rafting. It's like I could fight with my sister over the rafts. Be like, no, I want Dad's rafts. But I live in Wisconsin, and I have a large body of water near me, and that's the Lake Michigan, right? And there's no... It gets very turbulent, but there's no whitewater rafting on Lake Michigan. I think the closest river is like on the other side of the state that you can float. I don't know. I've never looked it up. But there's just no point in me trying to be like, oh yeah, I wanted those rafts. And the other thing my dad has is mountain bikes. My dad has a lot of specialty mountain bikes. 1 or 2 of them were custom built for him. So, and even then, it's like, I have a bike. I don't need more than 1 bike. There's nowhere to go mountain biking in the Midwest in Wisconsin, right? So, yeah, I'm not going to fight about the bikes that my dad has. And then his book collection. My dad has a book collection of to-be-read books that is, you have to measure it in tons. Okay? So the trailer that he lives in, not only is it like 60 years old and falling apart, it's packed full of books, right? That my dad went to the bookstore, picked up, and then never read, right? I'm sure a lot of them he did read, but, I'll pick up a book off of his shelf, and the receipt that he bought it with will still be in the front of the book. So, that's not, not something I'm going to be like, oh, I want Dad's book collection. No. So, yeah, not a lot of stuff that my dad owns is going to... Well, I mean, he's 1,800 miles away in Idaho from me. So I don't have a lot of say in what goes on anyway. Know what I mean? I'm just iterating the point because it's like my son is just going to end up with all of my stuff, of which I have a lot. So I hope he is a successful individual when he grows up and has room for all of my crap. Like, I worked really hard on it. It should last for a long time, you know, provided you don't intentionally destroy it. And I think that, you know, he's played with some chainmail rings before. He's 10. He's not too keen on it. But he had a little bit of fun with it. So if he's gets a little older and makes some more chainmail projects and lets me teach him a few things, you know, maybe he too will become a chainmail artist. We will see. Did I have the top of this? I'm trying to think how much I had started on this layer I'm working on. I think I had the top done before I started streaming. This has taken an hour and a half so far. Oh, excuse me. Oh, thanks for the follow. Appreciate you. Oh, come on. Alright. So now I just got to fill in this corner over here. Right there. But that layer is pretty much done. We've got 3 sides. Like, there's stainless steel dominant on 3 sides, but we'll add the bronze next, making it bronze dominant again. And then these 3 sides will all be bronze dominant, and then these 3 sides will be stainless steel dominant. And it's a nice way to combine 2 different colors. What else? Alright, I've discussed my hopes and dreams, all the things I want to purchase once I get my, once I start working again. So, I really hope the job works out. Right? Like, it sounds like it will, but I have to be able to drop my kid off and pick him up and, you know, make sure, sit with him to do his homework. So he's in 5th grade and can do most of it himself. And anymore, I'm largely just sitting there playing on my phone while he does what he has to do. And it's like, this year I'm trying to shoulder onto him getting himself through his homework and making sure that it's all done. So I'm kind of just there to go over the list of homework and make sure that he did it all. I don't do a lot of helping. So it's like, I want to be a supportive parent, but also, you know, you're old enough now to do your own homework without me making sure that you get it done. Alright, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 15, 30, 20, 6, 7, 2, 3, 6, 7, 8, times 56, so that's almost 300 rings. Dang. No wonder it took an hour and a half. That tracks. 300 rings, 100 rings every 30 minutes, 200 rings an hour. That's on par with where my weaving speed. And that's just me cruising, you know? And I like using that method. It's like I have my average rings per hour speed, right? And I multiply that by my hourly rate of $25 an hour. And that is how I determine what to charge on a piece, you know? Whereas some people, they just have an hourly rate, right? Let's say it's $20 an hour. But they can only weave 100 rings an hour, right? And so they're sandbagging their projects because they just, you know, make a project take twice as long as it should. Metal cubes make your brain go brrr. Cubes are fun. Here. How you doing, Space? Oh, my back. Oh. Yeah, this one's a nice size. You guys ever mix Sprite and pink lemonade? It's the best. This one will be 15 rows on each side. I've got it length and width the size I want. I just got to build it up to 15 rows. I'm at 7 right now, so it's about halfway done. All right. Only when you're at In-N-Out, because In-N-Out pink lemonade is glorious. There you go. I've never been to an In-N-Out. I'm on the wrong side of the country for that. It's like, I don't like to drink much soda, but I could drink like 3 or 4 Sprite and pink lemonade concoctions back to back throughout the day if I'm not careful. You're in Oklahoma now, where they're in the dark ages without In-N-Out as well. Oklahoma. Oklahoma, where the wind comes sweeping down the plain, and the waving weed is some. I don't know. I never watched that musical as a kid. Sound of Music, yes. Les Miserables, yes. Phantom of the Opera, yes. Chicago, yes. Oklahoma, no, not so much. It's a much older musical. But speaking of older musicals, Music Man, saw that a lot. I didn't have Music Man memorized though. A+ performance. Thank you. Thank you. So I think I've seen Oklahoma once. I'm trying to think if I've ever been to Oklahoma. Oh yeah, no, I have been. I've been to a lot in Oklahoma. That's where I did my basic training. The armchairs look rather comfy. Yeah, so these are like detachable. They connect to the desk, and they're nice. They are As Seen on TV brand armrests, and like I had to add that because the pad, it's just a piece of leather. The pad gave out, right, and then the padding on top also gave out, so I stamped some leather in a chainmail pattern. So I need a 3/4 inch drill bit to make this hole in my desk so that it can be permanently affixed to the desk. But yeah, I liked them when I got them, and even after adding a bit of work to them, they work. And there's a bunch of different armrest styles out there. You don't just Google this one or anything. They can be very helpful. And I get really dry elbows from resting my elbows on the table. I'll get these dry patches here. And this helps prevent that. That looks so amazing. Thank you. I'm not much of a leather worker. I have some more tools, and I have some projects that will require leather work. As far as carving leather work, like, I've never done that. But I've got some guitar straps to make that need some leather work. And so looks almost wicker. It's amazing. Thank you. It came out really good. Like, I just antiqued it and then sealed it. So I have seen someone else use this technique where they made a pattern, they painted it silver, and then they antiqued over the top of it. They put leather antiquing over the top and then sealed it, and that would look really good. That would make some cool looking leather chainmail. So on whatever next project I end up stamping chainmail onto, that is the technique I'm going to try. I'll probably make a test piece and all that, but I've got to go to Tandy because I need a different thickness of leather than what I have. And I've got some really heavy duty leather that I like to work with and make stuff out of, but it's too thick for the guitar straps that I gotta make, so. I have to drive back up there. This is the farthest away I've ever lived from a Tandy in my life. I used to have one 5 minutes away from me in Idaho and in Texas. Maybe it was 20. This is almost an hour away. So I don't get to go there as much as I normally would, which is good because the last time I was there at the Tandy Leather here in Wisconsin, I think I spent $500. I did buy 2 full-size hides, right? So that was a lot of it. That was probably 300 of it. And then I, picked up some other leather stuff. It's like, yeah, I don't need to come here too often. So, yeah, I got a whole set up right next to me with a big marble block and rubber pad and for stamping and carving and punching holes and whatnot. And then I will be buying more leather tools as time goes on. It's covered in crap, and so I need to clear it off, which is, why I'm getting this work done. I need space to work on other projects. There is someone, I think it's called the Prince Armory. And they had a whole, what do you call it? A whole, class schedule thing. You would learn leather carving and how to make suits of armor, and they would sell the patterns and everything. But they're changing their focus from patterns to something else. And so I'm not going to get to be able to do that, but there's plenty of stuff to make out of leather. Oh, speaking of leather, okay. What is her name? Her name is Dolled Up Leather. And she's on TikTok. Dolled Up Leather makes some amazing pieces. She just made a statement piece. It was about a foot round, right? All layers of leather, and each layer was carved and then placed on the bottom layer, and then carved another layer, placed it on. And so she had this three-dimensional diorama of leather carving that she had done. Dolled Up Leather. Check her out. It was amazing. It was the most intense leather piece I've seen. As far as a single creator's saddles are big pieces of leather that require a lot of work, right? This was sculptural leather crafting, right? It was amazing. Dolled Up Leather, go check it out. Once you see what I'm talking about, you'll be like, oh yeah, that is amazing. So, but yeah, I'd like to do more with leather crafting, but I'll get there, little by little. I want to be making stuff the rest of my life, right? The trick is, figuring out how to get all that funded and still, manage to not lose your house, especially in today's economy. But I think I've gotten pretty good with chainmail. A lot of stuff I want to make out of it. I would like to get. I don't think that I would like to get as good with leather as I am with chainmail. It'd be cool to be able to do all of that, but I just leather stamping this drove me up a wall. I'm not even kidding. So I have the patience to sit and open and close rings over and over again. Oh wow, that music was been really loud. I have the patience to sit and, open and close rings over and over and over again until I'm done with a project, right? I don't have the patience to sit and stamp something. I haven't developed that at all. Excuse me. Ooh. So you can ask me to make something from chainmail, and I can come up with a plan of how to make it, right? Like, I don't know if that's a good measure of how good someone is. I can come up with a plan without a pattern of how I would go about making something like that, right? Which I think is, pretty good. And it makes me, I feel like my chainmail skills are on par with some of the leatherworker guys I know who set out to make something. They have no pattern, and they just go and they make it, right? I think that's a pretty good measure of how skilled you are as a crafter or artist, right? Like, no, I've never made one before, but okay, yeah, I probably could do something like whatever crazy thing you get asked about. A lot of times I'll get questions like, can you make a chainmail holster, right? Or can you make a chainmail scabbard? And it's like, yeah, you could, and I could figure out how to make something like that to where it's functional. But then you're dealing with metal on the firearm or the blade. And it's like, it's much, much simpler just to take a holster or a scabbard and add chainmail to it as decoration. You can cover the entire thing even, than it is to try and make something like that out of chainmail. Like, don't get me wrong, you can do it. I just personally think that there are better materials, for different things. Okay, since, where are we at here? 9:45, we got 15 minutes. We're almost 2 hours. Actually, I can tell you exactly how long. Hour and 46 minutes and 37 seconds. So he's streaming for 2 hours a night. It's going to be, I don't know what. We'll see what happens. Because if I'm working all day and then doing my charting when I get home and doing homework with the kiddo and doing dinner and whatnot, we'll see. We'll see what happens and how long I'm able to stream in the evenings. So I wish I could be one of those people that streamed all day. And before I picked up the new employment, I was thinking, it's like, yeah, I'll just start, first thing in the morning and stream all day. But my lifestyle is just not conducive to that. And talking for 2 hours is a long time. It's like I'm not up here giving presentations on anything. But I do know that when I come across someone on a stream who is not saying anything, really regardless of whatever they're doing, I don't stick around for very long. So I try to keep the rambling going. Right? So I don't know if I could talk for 8 hours a day or however long you have to stream to become successful. And here's another thing too, right? Like, I'm talking about chainmail, okay? It's not a divisive politic, or it's not a divisive topic like politics, right? Or What other divisive topics are out there? I don't sit here and talk about gender theory, and I don't talk about race relations and things like that, right? I talk about chainmail. So I don't know if I could talk about chainmail for 8 hours a day and my life. Like, I love chainmail. I think it's interesting. I don't think I'm going to be able to be successful at streaming 8 hours a day and having it be worth my time, right? I've made $19 off of Amazon affiliate sales in 2-3 years, something like that. And yeah, 2022, I think is when I got started. Which is great, right? That's $19. I don't get paid out until I make 100. So I definitely need to consider that, when I make the decision of whether or not to stream for 8 hours a day. Like, it's got to be worth my time. Yeah, I am sitting here working on a project, and I'm going to be doing that anyway, but also, like, I can't just be streaming and letting the rest of my life fall apart. So, but hopefully I'll get to that point. I'll get to that point where all my financial issues are covered and I can stream all day without consequence or go vend somewhere or whatever. Or just go drive around the country with my son and show him all the amazing sights that can be seen. So we've been to the Dells here in Wisconsin, and I keep seeing these places. I'm going to have to dig into, like, what features are in this state. What, like, natural formations are in this state. Because I know there are some, and they're, a few hour drive. As opposed to, like, traveling to the Grand Canyon or whatever. So, yeah. If I can... if I can make a few more viral videos, that'd be nice. Maybe that is what I should be focusing on, right? Making videos instead of streaming. There's a thought for someone. Because I've had, oh my God, we got 8, 9, 10. We got 10 people hanging out. Right? No one's commented in quite a while, but that's okay. Usually, people will pop in and come and go, and then they'll just lurk in the background or whatever. It's either 10 people who, also like chainmail and like watching it being made. Because I will sit on other people's chainmail streams fairly often. I don't have a lot of time for it, but like it's fun to watch other people make. Sorry, man, I've been doing your timesheet for last week. No worries. It's fine. It's all the art of the ramble is something that you have to be good at when you're streaming. You just gotta talk about whatever, Where was I? Yeah, so I'll stop in on other people's chainmail streams and watch them Maybe it's people who just want to support me. Oh, I gotta sneeze. I can feel it. Oh, my nose. You know, and there's people hanging out because they think I'm such an awesome person. You know, or it's people who have never heard of chainmail before, and they're like, "What in the world is this guy doing? This is crazy." And they're just watching because, you know, in horror at me spending my time doing this, and they're interested and they want to find out more, how to get started and whatnot. You know, I assume those are kind of like the general reasons why people hang out and watch. Ow. My noted wedding. All right. So, yeah, better to go back to work than to stream all day for 8 hours a day. Which is, I really think that, like, that's what it takes. Like, you got to be really dedicated to being a streamer to make it worthwhile. Heard you say stainless, but what's the other material? It's bronze. That's stainless and bronze. It's coming along. We're getting somewhere. Where are we at here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 7. Okay. So we'll gotta add 2 more layers here. And then it'll be 8 on each side. And then just 2 more layers after that, and hopefully we have enough rings. We'll see. We're getting quite low. Oh, that looks wicked. Yeah, I like the color combo. And I like that it's base metals. Here's a warning, okay? Bronze with stainless steel, good. Copper with stainless steel, good. Brass with stainless steel, also good. Brass and bronze, or brass and copper together, not good. It's not a good color combo. Kind of looks like a turd. Just FYI. I have 2 pieces out of brass and bronze. But I do like that this is base metal, stainless steel and bronze. And it'll keep its color, you know, little cleaning every now and then. It should be fine. You don't have to worry about the color fading. It'll tarnish, but that can be cleaned up. It's not like, you know, this titanium cube. I got to put color back on it, but if you were to make a titanium cube, excuse me, and it was anodized, no matter what color was anodized, it would eventually kind of look like that. This green, gray, purple looking thing. Right? And you would have to re-anodize it to reapply the color. You'd have to re-anodize it to reapply the color. Whereas the base metal, it's just going to be that color. That made you laugh out loud from your bedroom? Nice. That's what you heard? That's not what I said. That's funny. That's funny. No, what I said was brass and bronze look like a turd when you use them in, the same project. If you add stainless steel, it kind of differentiates it, but actually, give me 2 seconds and I'll grab 2 projects and show you what I'm talking about. Oh, hey, I got three projects that combine brass and bronze. So this one literally looks like a dog turd, right? That was not my intention. Okay, it's a piece of brass and bronze round mail that I just tied into a knot because I was just screwing around with the rings, and it kind of made this cool little fidget toy. The word was broken in half like that. Nice. That's what your wife said? You woke her up with your laugh? Ah, okay. And then this, it looks much better with the stainless steel now, but it still kind of looks like a Sarlacc bunghole kind of thing. And before I added the stainless steel to it, it was definitely interesting looking, right? So I don't use brass and bronze together anymore. But okay. Let's see if I can do this. It'll post that. I've been having a problem posting links lately. That doesn't look like it came up. Dang it. Okay, so for anyone who looks at this and goes, I want to learn how to make that. It's awesome. It's amazing. I want to be cool like this dude is. If you go to any of my other socials, you'll find my link tree. But the link tree is linktr.ee/mailworks. You can see the link is just spaced out. Yeah, okay. If you can see the link, I meant to space it out so that I would pop up on your screen. For some reason, the regular link will not post for some reason. I don't know why. Okay? But it's linktree/mailworks. And there's a period in between the TR and the EE. Okay? If you go there, you'll find all my socials. You'll find the Mailworks web app, which you don't have to download anything, just open it up. And inside the web app are where to find supplies, where to find tutorials, where to find tools, where to find other chainmail artists, all sorts of good stuff, as well as a Discord that we got in there that we're filling up with people, and it's getting more active as time goes on, so join us there if you have questions throughout the day and I'm not here streaming. What else? Follow me on all my other social medias. I'm everywhere. Same username. Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, Twitch, X. Excuse me. I usually stream. Excuse me. I usually stream 8 to 10 most nights of the week. It has been 8:30 to 10 up until recently. I tried to make my streams longer, make them over 2 hours, and that gives a lot of people to hop in and ask questions and see what I'm doing. And so, if you want to see more progress, stop back in tomorrow night or the next night and see what else we're working on. And other than that, it's a school night. I got to get upstairs, make sure my kid's in bed. So I'm going to get out of here, but you all have a wonderful evening. Have a good week. Excuse me, I'm getting tired. All right, and then I will be here throughout the week, and as I start this job, we'll see how much time I can spend hanging out, working on stuff, but I'm not going away. I won't be here as much. So thanks everyone for hanging out. I do appreciate you being here. So follow along, come back and check in on the progress that we've made on these projects, and I will see you guys later. All right. You all have a wonderful evening. Bye.